What is up, you guys? This is your boy Andy Matrix, and today we're gonna talk about Final Fantasy 16 because why the heck not? It's coming out soon, it's coming out next year, and I am so hyped. Alright, so ever since Final Fantasy 9, Square Enix has not made a mainstream epic fantasy that people actually liked. Final Fantasy 11 and Final Fantasy 14 are online games, and not everyone likes MMORPGs. I know I don't. Of course, there is Final Fantasy 12, but it was a failure and not many people liked it. The battle system was not very enjoyable, especially the summons, and the story was not very memorable. When was the last time you heard anyone talk about Final Fantasy 12? I'll wait.
3 hours later.
That's right, nobody. Okay? Nobody, not one. Right, people are always hyped up about Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 8, Final Fantasy 9, and heck, even Final Fantasy 10 is rated one of the most popular Final Fantasies in the series. Okay, but Final Fantasy 12 left a bad taste. Final Fantasy 12 just left a bad taste in our mouths, for God's sakes. However, with Final Fantasy 16, it looks like this mainstream title is going to be very promising and essentially Square Enix Game of Thrones. That is without the crappy ending of Season 8 if you watch the show. You know what I mean? The story seems to be dark and gritty, and the rating of the game is rated M for mature. That is right, guys. This is going to be Square Enix first rated M game in the main series of Final Fantasy. Okay. Also, I was looking at the story, and it seems to be more similar to Game of Thrones than I thought. Right. The only difference is, of course, that Final Fantasy has a hyper magic system, meaning that it uses a lot of magic, while Game of Thrones has a low magic system, meaning that magic exists, but it's not very common, right? So let's take a look at the story of the characters. All right, so we have Clive Rosfield, our main character, our MC. And it says the first son of Archduke of Rosaria. Rosaria being the primary kingdom where the story takes place, or the home kingdom, if you will. Though all expected him to inherit the Phoenix Flames and awaken as its dominant. Right, Destiny instead chose his younger brother Joshua to bear the burden. In search of a role of his own, Clive dedicated himself to mastering the blade. His practice pays off when at just 15 years of age, he wins the ducal tournament and is dubbed the first Shield of Rosaria. So he became pretty successful, even though he didn't get the title of being the Phoenix dominant. Right? It says, tasked to guard the Phoenix and blessed with the ability to wield a part of his fire. At last, Clive's promising career is to end in tragedy at the hands of a mysterious dark Ifrit, setting him on a dangerous road to revenge. Right? And if you guys remember, in the trailer, we see a young Clive. Right? We see a young Clive in the trailer, and then there is a time skip, I believe. I'm not quite sure, but it looks like a 5-year time skip, and we see an older Clive, and he has a marking, right? He has like a tattoo on his face, which looks pretty badass. And then we have his little brother, Joshua Rosfield, says the second son of the Archduke of Rosaria and Clive's younger brother of 5 years. Joshua awoke as the dominant of the Phoenix soon after his birth. Despite his noble upbringing, Joshua treats all his father's subjects with warmth and affection, none more so than Clive, whom he deeply admires. Joshua often laments that it was he, the frail and bookish younger son, who was granted commands of the Fireburst Flame, and not his stronger, braver brother. While Clive will gladly throw himself into any danger, Joshua quails at the sight of a carrot. They're making fun of Joshua. Said on his dinner plate, but carrots become the least of his concerns when he too is swept up into the tragic events that changed Clive's life forever. Then we got this girl here that seems to also be related to the Rosfield family. Her name is Jill Warwick. It says, born in fallen northern terrorists, territories, right? So every area in the map of the world of Final Fantasy 16, it has like an icon, right? Like a magic crystal that summons the icon or the dominant of that kingdom. So every kingdom has its own summon, essentially. So it says Jill was taken from her homeland at a tender age to become a ward of Rosaria. So we see a little bit of drama here. It says securing peace between the two warring nations. The Archduke insists that she be raised alongside his son, and now, at 12 years of age, she is as much as part of the Rossfield household as Clive and Joshua. Ever kind, gracious, and unassuming, Jill has become a trusted confidant to the brothers. So basically, so you see what's happening here. It's like Jill belongs to another kingdom, but she was raised with Clive and Joshua in the kingdom of Rosaria, right? And then Clive was supposed to become the Phoenix, but then, you know, he decided to become a warrior, and then I guess something happened with Ifrit, and then I'm thinking that Clive is gonna become the dominant of Ifrit. And then we got the dominant of Titan, Hugo Kupka. It says permanent economic advisor Hugo Kupka. Meteoric rise to prominence was sudden, if not unexpected. It says once a nameless foot soldier in the Republic Army, his awakenings as dominant of Aegon Titan thrust him into the forefront of Dalmatian politics. All right, so he becomes the Titan, and it says here a sudden, kind of like a sudden prominence, meaning fame, like a sudden rise to fame, right? So what that tells me is that he must have done something to become famous, and then become the dominant of the Titan. And then we got Benedicta Harmon, you know, the new chick on the block with them yams. Know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, guys. It says, having emerged from the storm of youth, cold-hearted and ruthless, Benedicta Harmon, dominant of the Aegon Garuda, Guardian of the Wind, turned her talent for swordplay and subterfuge into a command of what? Damn, I can't pronounce that word, darn it. Wallout Elite's intelligence. It is on a mission to find the elusive second icon of fire that she crosses paths with, a like-minded Clive, and is forced to face her past. Wow. So those are the characters that are on the website of the game. And man, I mean, this is gonna be a show. This is gonna be one heck of a show. And let's not forget the summons, because each kingdom has its own summon, right? So we got Titan. We already saw Titan. We got the Phoenix. We got Ifrit. We got Shiva. We got Ramu. We got Bahamut and Odin. And there was a new one called Garuda. Just like a wind, like a Garuda is this like kind of this bird-like summon. The game is coming out on the summer of 2023, which means it could fall under June, July, or August. Now, June, I'm begging for June because the quicker the better. And all right, guys. So, by the way, guys, don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Odyssey. I submit my videos to Odyssey because you already know there's a lot of restrictions here on YouTube. So check me out on Odyssey and on Twitter. Okay, and make sure to like this video, comment below, guys, and tell me what you think. All right, make sure to stay up to date with more Final Fantasy and gaming news. So subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and ring that bell, guys. So thank you for watching. This is your boy, Andy Matrix. Godspeed.